Hey everyone, I'm back, and today we're going to be talking about To Catch a Thief. And this movie came out in 1955 and it's directed by Alfred Hitchcock, starring Cary Grant. And Grace Kelly is in it too. And I thought this movie was pretty great, and I don't really feel a need to talk about the plot of the movie because it's pretty much all summarized in the title of the film. It's about catching a thief. And what I enjoyed about this movie was how it was shot. I thought it looked great, and there were points where we got some long takes, and it didn't feel like they were long takes for the sake of having a long take in the movie. It actually told a story, and we got something out of it. And that's something that I really appreciated, and there were moments in the movie where it chose not to use the music, and I thought that was such a restrained and effective choice. And the way the movie opens, I thought was pretty fantastic. And it had me so well. I was so with it, and it just grabs your attention and just doesn't let go. And the pacing for this movie is really great. I was never bored once in this movie. And this movie is an hour and 40 minutes. Not 1 minute is wasted. It's all dedicated to telling a story and having likable characters to go along with it. And there's just a lot about this movie that I really appreciated, and I thought the performances were really great. I really enjoyed watching Cary Grant in this movie. I thought he was excellent. And also one effective choice that I really loved in this movie was that for the first 15 to 20 minutes, there was no dialogue. And I thought it was just such a great choice. And even when we do get dialogue, it's not like the movie's dragged down at any point because we get bad dialogue. It's very well written, and the characters all talk like real people. I'm sure there's points where the film does ask you to suspend disbelief at a couple moments, but I do feel as though that's just part of the time period where the filmmakers probably didn't know exactly how a police investigation would operate or things like this or that, and so you're just gonna have to suspend disbelief at a couple moments. The only other element that kind of dragged this movie down for me a little bit is that there were some dated aspects in terms of the driving scenes. You can tell they were just in front of a green screen, and it just never looked like they were a part of the environment. And that was the only part of the movie that felt dated. It's just the driving scenes, but most of the movie I think is pretty timeless and was not poorly aged at all, really. In terms of keeping you engaged and giving you a good movie, especially for the 50s, it's pretty fantastic. The action was fun to watch. Not that there's a lot of it, and it's not like an action scene that we would get today. It's a lot more restrained. And sure, the plot can be somewhat predictable in terms of where it's eventually going to go. But I wasn't upset at any point when it got to a certain point in the story. I was always like, yeah, this makes sense for the story that was built up. And everything that we got makes sense. I also really enjoyed the romance in this movie. I thought it was interesting to watch, and they felt like real people, like I've said already. And it was just a great element to the story that I felt added a lot to the film. And just about every single choice in this movie adds to the experience, and it does not drag it down. Even when we do get music, it feels appropriate and it fits with what the tone is trying to communicate. And there's just so much about this movie that I love and makes me want to revisit it immediately. And there are some Hitchcock films that I've seen that I do like a bit better than this, probably a bit less flawed and less dated. But at the same time, the package as a whole, I feel as though is almost on par with those, if not very, very, very close. Just a very thin line separating them. And that's about all I have to say about To Catch a Thief. It was fun, loved it, and I would totally watch it again. One of Hitchcock's better movies at the very least, and it's pretty high up there. I would definitely consider watching it again, just like all of his movies. There's not one movie that I've seen from him that I didn't like. And I do have my favorites, but this one, I can see myself rewatching it and saying, this is better than I remember it being, because it is aging pretty well in my head, and there's just so many scenes I would love to come back to, and I just really love this movie, and I would highly recommend that you check it out. So with all that being said, I'm going to give To Catch a Thief a 9 out of 10. Thank you for watching my videos. As always, if you enjoyed this review, be sure to leave a like and comment down below you thought of To Catch a Thief, and my social media links, they will all be in the description, so follow me there. And last but not least, subscribe to be a part of Foley Nation, and I'll see you when I get my next review up, and that is going to be for Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. So look forward to that, but until I get that up, thank you for watching and have a great day.